So in the last session, we have discussed about the object creation and the tab creation, how to create our own custom objects, and how can we create the objects without any tab, and if the tab is required in future, then how can we create the tab for that object manually by using the custom object tabs option we have discussed. Now, so in today's session, we'll see the fields. So what exactly a field, what it represents basically, and how many types of fields are available in Salesforce, what are the limitations has been given by Salesforce, so what are the limitations has been given by Salesforce by default upon creating the fields, and what type of data types are available, we'll see practically today here. Now, so when coming to the field represents a column inside the table. Field represents a column inside the table. Generally, when coming to that real world, we are using the two terminologies like as table. The table is also called as object in Salesforce. Inside the table, every table contains some set of columns. So here, the same columns are also called as fields inside your Salesforce instance. These columns are also called as fields. Just the terminology difference. So, in order to store your application specific data, in order to store your business specific data, we need to have some columns inside the table. So at that time, every table should have some set of fields to store the data. It may be your customer data, it may be your products data, it may be sales data, whatever. In order to store the data, every table or every object should have some fields. So in this case, when coming to that Salesforce is providing two types of fields over here. Salesforce provides two types of fields. The first one is, as you are aware of that, standard fields. Second one is a custom fields. Then what do you mean by standard field? What do you mean by the custom field? That you know that. Because since very long time we are discussing about the same concept standard, custom, standard, custom, standard, custom. Here also. When coming to the standard fields are nothing but the ready-made fields which has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay, which has been given by Salesforce by default. So in each and every object, by default, Salesforce is providing some set of fields. Those fields are comes under the standard fields. Like, for example, whenever I'm creating an object by default, Salesforce will provide the 5 fields over here, like as the ID field, name field, owner field, created by, last modified by. So these are the 5 fields has been given by Salesforce by default in each and every object which are standard. So in this case here, so in every object, Salesforce is providing some standard fields to you. So what are the standard fields are available, we can able to customize these standard fields. Okay, we can customize. Now what we can customize as part of this one, standard fields, just we can change the labels. Like for example, it is showing that simply the field label as owner, but instead of owner, I want to show the record owner. Suppose it is showing like as a simply the name. Instead of that, I want to show like as some product name, or customer name, or candidate name. Like that, I want to, we can change that label here. So as part of standard fields, we can customize. That means just we can able to change the label. Okay, we can change the label. And then, so can you remove these standard fields from the object? No. Whatever the standard fields are available, we can't remove. We can't remove the standard fields from the object. So these will be the fixed one. Okay, these will be the fixed one. So in this case, in every object, Salesforce is providing some set of standard fields which are used to store some data. So now, in this case here, in order to store that every record's ID, because upon creating a new record, Salesforce is providing a record ID, which is a unique identification number, okay, which is a unique identification number. So now, which is used to identify each and every record separately over here. So at that time, to track that ID, to know that record ID, we are using that ID column. To store that record information, they have given the remaining columns here. The name of the record and the owner of the record, created by person, last modified by person. To store those information, Salesforce has given so many fields to you by default, which are called as standard fields. Now, so in this case, when coming to that Salesforce, upon creating an object, they have given only the 5 fields. Now tell me, will these 5 fields are sufficient? No. Because for example, assume that Salesforce has given that 5 fields by default. I would like to store the product's information. Upon storing the product's information, I need some columns inside my table. Assume that this is my products table. Product table. In this one, upon creating this product object, Salesforce has given some columns to me by default, like as ID of the product and the name of the product, the product name, and then owner, and the created by, and the last modified by. So these columns has been given by Salesforce over here. Now, along with that, I want some more columns also. Okay, along with that, I want some more columns also inside my object. Okay. Now, in this case, for example, so these are the 5 columns are available. ID column, name column, owner, created by, and the last modified by. These are the 5 columns has been given by Salesforce. But these 5 columns are not sufficient for me. I want to store some more details about the product over here. So now for each and every product, I'm having some price. I would like to store the price information. For that one, I would like to have a separate column. And then, for every product, you will be having some manufacturing date. For that one, I want a separate column. For every product, I would like to have the expiry date. So for that one, I would like to have that separate column over here. And for every product, I would like to have what is that quantity available here, whether the product is available in stock or not. For that one, I would like to have one more column. So now depends upon my application requirement. I would like to have some more columns also inside this table itself. Like, I would like to specify the unit price of the product. I would like to specify the manufacturing date. And then I would like to have expiry date of the product. I would like to have whether the product is available in stock or not. Whether the product is available in stock or not. I would like to know this one. That means what here? Not only the 5 columns given by the Salesforce. Okay, not only these 5 columns given by the Salesforce, I would like to have some more columns also depends upon my application requirement. As part of my business need, upon storing the data, I would like to have some more columns also. So now like this here, we can able to create our own columns also. So these columns are called as custom fields inside the Salesforce instance. So now inside this object, we can able to have the standard columns. Along with that, based on our application requirement, to store the application related data, to store the business related data, we can able to have some more columns also inside an object. So these are called as custom fields because we are creating this field depends upon my application requirement. So that these fields are called as custom fields. So in this case, what we can do on these custom fields, today I need a field called as some in stock, nothing but whether the product is available in stock or not. That means the stock is available or not for this product. So we can able to use that. Suppose in future, if this field is not required, then we can able to remove that field from this table itself. Because this is my own. I have created the field. So I am the owner of the field, so I am having the full rights on this field. So if the field is required, then I can use it as it is. If the field is not required, then I can remove that field from the object as well. So that when coming to an object, not only the standard fields, we can able to have our own custom fields also, depends upon our application requirement. Then, so what are the custom fields that we have? Those custom fields we can customize in future, and along with that we can able to remove this field if the field is not at all required for you. Now let's make a note of this one. So when coming to the custom fields here, we can create our own fields also inside the object based on the name. Then whatever the custom fields that we have created, we can customize. We can customize the custom fields which we have created, and we can remove. We can remove the fields from the object if it is no longer needed. If the field is not at all required in future, then we can able to remove this custom fields also from your object. That flexibility is available to you. So in this case, how many custom fields can we have for an object over here? Can we create unlimited number of columns? No, there is a limitation. How many columns can we create for an object over here? So now here in this case here, as part of this fields, Salesforce has given the journal limits over here. Now, so if it is a free developer edition, in this free developer edition, each object here, that means in each and every object we can create what are the standard fields are available. Apart from that standard fields, we can create additionally up to 500 custom fields. Okay, now we can create maximum of 500 custom fields per an object. Nothing but in each and every object, we can create up to 500 custom fields. Standard fields are not countable. Only these custom fields will be counted. Up to 500 we can create per table over here. Not for the entire organization. For example, we have created 2 objects as of now, like as customer object, position object. In customer object, we can create 500 custom fields, and in the position object, we can create 500 custom fields. So that in each and every object, we can create up to 500 custom fields inside the free developer edition. Suppose if you are utilizing that unlimited edition over here. In unlimited edition, we can create maximum of 800 custom fields per an object. In each and every object, we can create 800 custom fields inside the unlimited edition over here. So these are the limitations has been given by Salesforce. So that in every object, we will be having both standard fields and the custom fields. So standard fields are nothing but the ready-made fields given by Salesforce. Custom fields are nothing but created by the developer or the administrator to store that application specific data. So upon creating this custom field, we can create maximum of 500 custom fields per an object in free developer edition. And in unlimited edition, we can create up to 800 custom fields per an object. So these are the limitations has been given by Salesforce as part of the fields. Now, in this case, when coming to a Salesforce instance, we are having so many objects are there as of now. We have campaign object, lead object, account object, contact, document, my own custom objects also customer, position. Then what fields are there in each and every object? How do we know? How do we know what columns are available in each and every object over here? So in this case, whenever if you want to list out the fields available inside the object, we have multiple ways are available. So whenever if you want to list out the fields available inside the object, we have multiple ways are available. The first way is the standard navigation. Second one is the force.com quick access menu. Is the second way. Third one is by using developer console. And the fourth one is by using schema builder. And the fifth one is by using data loader, which has the data loader tool, which has been given by Salesforce to us. And the sixth one is by using third-party tools. Like as part of third-party tools, we are having the various tools called as Workbench. Second one, SID.io. Third one, dataloader.io. Fourth one, Informatica Cloud. Like that, here we are having some multiple ways are available in order to list out the fields available inside that object here. Then what columns are there in each and every table, I want to know. So in this case, in order to know what columns are there in each and every object, we have these multiple ways are available. Now, let's see. The first one, standard navigation. So we'll see that first 4 ways. Now data loader and the remaining thing you will see in that during those concepts over there. During the data loader concept, we'll see how to see that fields available inside the object, and then we'll see that during that workbench we'll see that. Now we'll see these 4 ways here. Standard navigation. How to see the fields available inside this object. For example, I want to see what columns are there inside my table over here. In which table? In account table. For example, I have an object called as account object. Now if it is a table, then definitely it will be having some columns, right? Then what columns are there inside my account table? Account is not my own column, my own table. If I am creating the table, then I can remember these are the columns I have created inside the table. But this is not my table here. This table has been given by Salesforce by default as part of Salesforce CRM. Then in this table, what columns are available? What columns have been given by Salesforce, I want to know. So for that reason, if you want to see the columns available inside the object, first we'll see with the standard navigation. For that, just to go to that setup menu on the top right corner, go to the build menu in the left panel. Okay, go to the build menu in the left panel. And then click on customize, because I want to see the fields available inside my standard object, that is account. So that click on customize. Go to that respective object. What object fields you want to see? I want to see the account object field. So that go to that accounts and expand it. Inside that one, you will be having a first option called as fields. Okay, what fields are available inside my account object? I want to know. For that one, just to go to that fields link and then click on this fields link over here. Once you click on this fields link, it is providing that fields available inside this account object over here. Suppose if you want to see the lead object fields, then just you can go to the leads over here and then click on fields. If you want to see the campaign object field, then expand that campaigns, click on fields. So depends upon the object what you would like to see. So now select that object over here, click on that fields. Once you click on this fields, it is populating the fields available inside the object over here. So these are the various standard fields which has been given by Salesforce by default. So these are the account standard fields. So these are the field labels and the field name and the data type of those fields as well. So we can see these are the columns available inside this table over here. Okay, these are the columns. Name column, account number, owner, site, account source, annual revenue, billing address, claim status, created by. Like that here we can see all those standard columns which are available inside the sales account object over here. Along with that here, Salesforce has given some set of custom fields also in the account object by default. If you want to see those custom fields, then come to this section. That means Salesforce is segregating the fields to you. All the standard fields inside a separate section, custom fields inside a separate section, so that the people can differentiate. The people can understand what fields we have created, what fields Salesforce has given. We can differentiate that by using these two sections. So that all the custom fields will be available inside this section over here. So these are the various custom fields are available here. Active _ C, customer priority _ C, number of locations _ C, SL _ C. Like that here, we can able to see that custom fields which has been available inside my object over here. So this is the way we can able to see the fields available inside this object. So we have to go to that standard navigation and then we can see the fields available inside this object also. It may be standard fields, it may be custom fields also, both we can able to see. So this is one way in order to see the fields available inside that object over here. Next, the second way is Force.com quick access menu. By using Force.com quick access menu also, we can list out what fields are available inside my object over here. Then how to do that one? Now let's see. For example, I want to know what are the columns available inside my lead object over here. In my lead object, what fields are available, I want to know. So in this case here, just click on this leads tab. Okay, as part of Force.com quick access menu, if you want to see the fields available inside this lead object, click on this leads tab. So click on this leads tab and expand the Force.com quick access menu. This is the Force.com quick access menu. To expand this Force.com quick access menu, here we are having an option called as view fields. It has a direct shortcut option. So click on this view fields link so that we can able to see the fields. This is the second way. Click on view fields. Now we can able to see the fields available inside my lead object. In my lead object, whatever the fields are available, everything will be getting visibility. Here also same two sections are available. So you will be having that standard fields section. Here the lead standard fields section is available, which is populating all the fields available inside this lead object here by default. And then when you come down, you will be having that API name. That means here this is the custom fields. So these are the lead custom fields are available over here in the lead object, which have been given by Salesforce. Now, so we can able to see the fields inside this object by using Force.com quick access menu also. Next, the third one. The third one is developer console. So how can we see the fields available inside this object through developer console? Now let's see practically here. So in this case, just go to your Salesforce instance. So now go to your name on the top right corner. Okay, go to your name on the top right corner and expand. In this one, inside this menu, you will be having an option called as developer console. Okay, we have an option called as developer console. So click on this developer console link in order to open the developer console editor. Click on this developer console. So now Salesforce will open a new developer console editor for you, a separate window. So this is the developer console editor that already you are aware of, that previously we have used to query the data also here. Now, so in this case, go to the file menu on the top left corner, go to the file menu and expand it. Here you will be having an option called as open. Okay, here you are having an option called as open. So now click on this open link here. Okay, click on this open link. Click on this open link. Once you click on this open link, it is providing a dialog box to you. In this dialog box, there is a column called as entity type column. That means what type of entity you want to see. Okay, what type of entity you want to see. So you want to see the classes or triggers, Visualforce pages, components, objects, or what? What you want to see? I want to see the objects over here. So that click on these objects. Okay, click on these objects. So once you click on these objects, whatever the objects are available, those objects will be getting populating inside this second column over here. For example, once you click on these objects, it is populating all the objects. So these are the various tables are available inside my organization. So now we can see all those objects as well. Now if you want to see any of the object information, like for example, I would like to see the fields available inside my contact object over here. So now go to that case object. For example, take any of the object whatever you want. I would like to see what columns are there inside my case object. So just to go to this case object over here and then double click on this. That's it. Okay. Double click on this field, case object. Automatically what columns are available, those will be getting visible to you. These are the columns are available inside my case object. So these are the column names. Okay. These are the data type of those columns over here. So we can see what columns are available. ID column, is a deleted column, case number column, contact ID column, account ID, asset ID, parent ID, supplied name, supplied email, and the type of the case, status of the case, reason, origin of the case, everything is available here. So that here we can able to see the columns available inside this object also. All those columns information we can see. So this is the third way in order to see the fields available inside our object here. Next one. So let me show you that one more way in order to see the fields. So in order to see the fields, we are having that fourth way called as schema builder. Let's see the schema builder tool in order to see the fields available inside this object here. So what columns are available inside that object I would like to see over there. So let's go to the schema builder now. Go to your Salesforce instance, click on that setup menu. Click on the setup menu. So go to the build menu in the left panel. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Here inside the build menu, you are having an option called as schema builder. You are having an option called as schema builder. Now, so click on this schema builder link so that we can see that schema builder also here. So this is the schema builder tool. Okay, this is the schema builder tool. So you know this one already we have discussed. So now in this case here we are having so many object names are populated over here. So many object names are populated inside this one. So from this one select what object fields you want to see. So I don't want to display this account and all these things, I'm clearing out here. Click on clear all. I want to see the contact object information here. So that select that contact object over here by using this checkbox. Once you click on this contact object checkbox, now the contact object is visible to you over here. So this is the contact object over here. In this contact object, these are the fields are available. Account name, assistant phone number, birthday date, all these columns we can able to see inside this object. And then we can see that column name and the data type also over here. So this is the fourth way in order to see the fields available inside your object as well. So we can see each and every field available inside this object by using the schema builder. So these are the ways are available in order to see the fields available inside that object over here. Okay. So by using this any one of the way, we can see the columns available inside the object depends upon your requirement based on your convenience. Okay. So now based on your requirement, we can able to use any one of these options. So all the options are same, no change. But whatever the way you feel comfortable, we can use that. So Salesforce has given the multiple options, multiple ways to see the fields available inside this object over here. We can see both standard and custom fields also over there. Now, so in order to see those fields, these are the various ways are available which has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, so what exactly the difference between these standard fields and the custom fields over here? So what are the differences are available between this standard field and the custom field? Now let's see practically. It's a common question in every interview over here. So what exactly the difference between standard field and the custom field? What properties are available for the standard field and what properties are available for the custom fields? Now let's see practically over here. Now, let me differentiate that. Standard fields and the custom fields. Now, I am giving the serial number. Standard fields and the custom fields. Now, so now let's see. So what standard fields are available inside your Salesforce instance? What custom fields are available? And what is the difference between the standard field and the custom field? Now let's see practically. The first difference. So now you know that. What do you mean by standard field? Standard fields are nothing but the ready-made fields which has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay? These are the ready-made fields provided by Salesforce by default. Okay, these are the ready-made fields. Then what do you mean by custom fields? These are the fields which has been created by us. As a developer or as an administrator, we have created the fields here. Now, the administrator or the developer will create the custom fields to store the application specific data. So this is the first difference between standard and the custom field. Next, the second difference. So now what we can do on these standard fields? Standard fields are purely customizable, but we can't remove this standard field from your object over here. That already we have discussed. You can customize the standard fields. So now what we can customize over here, just you can change the labels. Just you can change the label. You can customize the standard fields. But we can't remove the standard fields from the object. Okay. So now, as part of custom fields here. We can do both. We can customize and remove the custom fields from the object if it is no longer needed. Suppose if the field is not required in future, we can remove that field also from that object. The flexibility is available to you. Next one. What is the third difference here? Then how many custom fields can we create? So can we create any more standard fields? No. Why? Because let me show you that. For example, if we are going to that standard fields over here, go to that fields information. When you go to that fields here, we can see that standard fields. Okay, account the standard fields section. Now tell me, do we have any new button over here to create a new standard field? No. But when you go to that custom fields, if there is a button called as new button. As part of custom field section, there is a new button to create our own custom fields also inside this object. So we can't create any more standard fields for an object, and then we can create the custom fields for your object over here. Okay? No. So we can't create any more standard fields. In the object. Then here we can customize, we can create the custom fields inside the object based on the application requirement, based on the application need. Based on the application requirement, we can create our own custom fields also. Next. The fourth difference. How many custom fields can we create over here? So in this case, here I'm giving the limitation. In free developer edition, how many we can create? We can create maximum of 500 custom fields for an object. For each and every object, we can create maximum of 500 custom fields. But if it is unlimited edition, now we'll see. In unlimited edition, we can create maximum of 800 custom fields for an object here. So in the unlimited edition, we can create maximum of 800 custom fields for an object. So this is the third difference. Now, the next one. Let's see the fourth difference. So now these are the column names are available here. For the standard field, these are the column names are available. These are the column names inside my table. How these column names are look like over here? Like as a name, account number, owner, site, account source, annual revenue. That means these are like as a normal words. Okay, like as a normal words. So when you come down, when you go to that custom field, how these custom field names are look like to you over here? Every custom field name is postfixing with underscore underscore C. Here also underscore underscore C, underscore underscore C, underscore underscore C. That means here each and every custom field name will be postfixing with underscore underscore C. Underscore underscore C represents what? Custom. Okay, this is a custom field. So that we can differentiate the fields. Just by looking into the field itself, we can differentiate, is it a standard one, is it a custom one. We can directly understand just by looking into that field name itself. Just by looking into the field name, we can understand, is it a standard or is it a custom. If it is a standard field, the name will look like as usual. If it is a custom field, it will be displaying that name with by postfixing with underscore underscore C. So this is the way to differentiate that fields inside that object over here. Now, make a note over here. The fourth difference. Standard field names look like the normal words. And then each custom field name will be postfixed with underscore underscore C. So where underscore underscore C represents, it is a custom field. It is a custom field. So this is the fourth difference. Next, the fifth difference here. The fifth difference. So what do you mean by this field name? What do you mean by this API name? Just observe this one. So now here in this case, when I go to the standard field, they're having two properties are available. Field label and the field name. Then what do you mean by this field label and what do you mean by this field name? Here it is showing like as account space name, and then this is simply name. Account space number, here account number. Account space owner, this is owner. Account space site. What is this field label? What is this field name in this case here? What exactly the field label? What exactly the field name? Now. So now let's see over here. What it represents. The field label represents what and the field name represents what. Okay, now let's see. For example, assume that I'm creating an object over here. To store the data, to store my employees' data, I'm creating an object over here. So this is the object I'm creating right now. To store my employees' information, I'm creating this object. In this one, I would like to create the columns like employee ID, name of that employee, and the age, and the salary, and the department ID over here. So these are the columns I would like to have inside my employee object. So this is my employee object. In this employee object, I'm having these columns. Like I'm having that employee ID column, name column, age column, salary column, department ID column. So these are the columns are there inside my object. Now, then how can we manage the records inside this table? How to create the records, how to modify, how to delete, how to view the records. For that one, I'm going to be providing one user interface. Okay, I'm designing a user interface for my customer. So this is the user interface which I'm going to be designing for my customer so that they will use this user interface to manage the records inside this. Now, so this is the screen which I'm designing over here. So now to enter the employee ID value, I'm providing one text box over here. To enter this employee name, I'm providing one more text box. To enter the age, I'm providing one more text box. To enter that salary value, I'm providing one more text box. To provide that department ID, I'm providing one more text box. So these are the text boxes which I'm providing over here. So these are the text boxes I'm providing inside my user interface to enter the data. So now for this one here, I'm giving that column names. Like these are the columns. EID and the name. Here's the name column. Here's the age. And here is the sal. And this is the DID. So these are the labels are available. Along with that, I'm providing some buttons also over here. Two buttons. One is the save button. Second one is the cancel button. I'm providing two buttons also on my user interface. Save button and the cancel button. So these are the buttons are available. Now this is the user interface. Through this user interface, my customer can able to create the records inside my object over here. He can create the records into my object. So now here in this case, whenever the customer is looking into the user interface, how the customer will understand what is this CID, what is this SAL, what is this DID, how the people can understand. Is it in a meaningful format? Is it like as a codes, some standard code? But some people can't understand. Some people may be able to understand that. Because if the people is a technical person, then they can understand EID means employee ID, DID means department ID. But the other people, they can't understand. What exactly this EID, what exactly this DID, they can't understand. And what exactly the SAL, they can't understand. So now for that reason here, instead of providing simply the EID, what I want to do is, I want to provide a meaningful name, nothing but the complete name. So that here what I want to do is, I want to display the complete name over here. Okay, employee name. Okay, I'm providing that ID. I'm providing like as employee ID here. Here, instead of specifying simply the SAL, I would like to provide the salary. So instead of providing the label like some DID, I want to provide that complete name over here. Like as department ID. The department ID. So now tell me, is it looking like clear or not now? Yes. There is no confusion. The customer may be anybody. He may be a business person, he may be a technical person also, whatever. Anybody, they can understand very clearly, because here I'm giving the labels perfectly here. So the meaningful labels I have provided. Employee ID, this is the text box to enter employee ID. This is to provide employee name. This is to provide that age. This is text box to provide that age, salary. And this text box is for department ID, and then they can click on that save button. So in this case, what happened? My column names are looking like this, nothing but the shortcut names. But whenever I'm displaying that field on the user interface, I'm giving some meaningful names over here. So in this case here, we're displaying that meaningful names. Okay, these are the meaningful names over here. For the user's convenience, okay, for the customer convenience, or for the end user convenience, we are displaying that meaningful names. So these are called as field labels. Okay, these are called as field labels. Now what do you mean by field label? Field label is nothing but a label or a static text to be visible in the user interface. Okay, to be visible on the user interface for the user's convenience. For the customer's convenience, we are going to be placing some label, a meaningful label we are providing on the user interface, that is called as field label. And then these are called as field names. These are called as field names. Then field names means what? These are the actual column names inside the table over here. Okay, these are the actual column names inside the table. So now tell me in this case here. For example, through programming, I would like to insert a record over here. At that time, do I need to use field labels or do I need to use field names? Because here, by using the programming, I would like to insert the record inside the table. So that to interact with the table, we need to use that column names. Column names are nothing but what? Field names over here. So that always we have to use field name to interact with the table or to interact with the object through programming. Because here we are going to be contacting that object through the columns itself, so that we have to use that column name. Column names are nothing but the field names in Salesforce. Okay, so that here, when coming to the field, every field is standard field is having two properties. One is a field label, second one is a field name. Field name is nothing but what? Field name is nothing but the actual column name inside the table. Field label is what? Field label is nothing but the static text to be visible on the user interface. That means a small label, a small static text to be visible on the user interface for you. Okay, so this is the difference between the field label and the field name. Now, So let's make a note of this one here, the fifth difference. Each standard field contains the below two properties. The first one is the field label. It is a label or static text to make it visible on the user interface. User interface for the display purpose. And the second one. The second difference is the field name. It represents the actual column name in the table. It represents the actual column name in the table. Okay. So these are the two properties are available over here for the standard field. Next, when you go to the custom fields over here also we have two properties: field label and the API name. Nothing but API means what? Application Programming Interface. That means through programming, if you want to interact with this field, we have to use that field name. So now here in this case here, these are the column names inside your table over here. Don't use simply active. We have to specify active _ C. Upon fetching the data, we have to use active _ C because this is a custom field which we have created in the past. Now, so in this case, each custom field contains the below two properties. So what are those two? The first one is the field label and the second one is the API name. First one is the field label. Second one is the API name. Okay, API name. So now here in this case, API means what here? API means Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. So now here in this case, whenever I am going to be interacting with the object, what we have to use? If it is a standard field, we have to use field names. If it is a custom field, we have to use API names over here. Don't use the field labels, always use that field name or API name. Because here, field labels are only for the display purpose, nothing else. Okay, for the user's convenience, we are giving some label, we are giving some display purpose here. So now here in this case, let me give you that note point over here. Always, we have to use the field name or API name. Okay, always we have to use field name or API name to interact with the object through programming. Okay. So through programming, whenever if you want to interact with the object, then always we have to use that field name or API name over here. Next, the sixth difference here, the last one. So now here in this case, now tell me, these standard fields are available for what kind of objects? Only for standard objects? No. Standard fields are available for standard object as well as custom object also. Because whenever I'm creating a new custom object by my own, Salesforce is giving 5 standard fields by default for me. In my custom object also, Salesforce is giving some 5 standard fields, like as ID field, name field, owner field, created by, last modified by. These are the 5 fields has been given by Salesforce by default for me. So that here, standard field can be applicable for both standard objects as well as custom objects also. Standard fields can be applicable for both standard and custom objects. Now what about the custom fields here? So can we create the custom fields inside my standard object? Yes. In my account object also, we can create how many custom fields? We can create up to 500. We can create up to 500 account custom fields over here. The possibility is available. Like the similar way, inside the position object also, we can create custom fields, so that custom fields can be applicable for both standard objects as well as custom objects here. Now, so custom fields can be applicable for both standard and custom objects. That means here, each and every object, it may be standard, it may be custom, both will be having standard fields as well as the custom fields also both. Each and every object. It may be standard object or it may be custom object also, both the objects will be having the standard fields as well as custom fields. So these are the various differences that we have between the standard fields and then the custom fields inside your Salesforce instance. Okay. So these are the differences that we have. So these are the differences are available between the standard field and the custom fields inside your Salesforce instance. Now, let me save this information. Okay. So this is a concept of fields inside your Salesforce instance. Okay. And then how to create that fields? Whenever we are going to be creating the fields, for each and every field we have to specify a data type. Okay, for each and every field we have to provide a data type. So what exactly a data type? What data types are available in Salesforce? Okay. So those are called as the field types or the data types. So what field types are available in Salesforce? That means whenever I'm creating some column, for example, I would like to have a column called a salary column. Now in that salary column, what kind of value do we need to accept? I would like to accept only the numerical values over here. It should not be a text. Suppose for example, I'm having a record. Now for that customer, okay, for this employee, the age should be what? Numerical. So for example, I'm entering like some 234. So now is it a correct information? No. Because here, age is a numerical, 234 is also numerical. Then but what's wrong in this one? But in this case, I would like to have some limitations. Like whenever I'm storing some age values I would like to make it between 0 to some 70 or 0 to 100 or 0 to 50, whatever. Depends upon my requirement over here. And then whenever I'm entering some salary value should be always starting from between 10,000 to some 1 lakh. Like that I would like to have some range. So now here in this kind of situation, how can we prevent that wrong information over here? So upon creating this column, we have to specify what type of data the column can hold. Okay, what type of data? So now, will that column should store the numerical values or character values or date values or what? What kind of data you want to store inside that column? So that we can decide with the help of the data type. So now what data types are available in Salesforce, we'll see in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session, we'll see the field types or data types. We are having almost some 19 data types are available. We'll see each and every data type, their properties also. That is the most important feature. Based on this one, we can able to create the fields over here. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see the field types or the data types, and then we'll see how to create the fields inside your object over here.